Unfiltered by two. Hi, Jai. Again, this would be our second episode, right, of Unfiltered by two in 2026.
Oh, yes. No, this is our third.
You're like,
The third.
second episode? Oh, third episode. Oh my
Third.
God. What a good start, I would say. Let's hope for more listeners and quality of listeners. I know that quality is always over quantity, but let's be real. In today's world, quantity matters too. I was watching Instagram, right? As I was thinking about like what to talk about for today's podcast, and then I saw Bridgerton's. I'm a
Mhm.
Bridgerton fan. Bridgerton about to come out season 4, and it starts off with a masquerade ball. You know,
Mm,
and it got me thinking, what make people, and then how people go to masquerade ball, they dress up as another person, they wear the mask and all that. And it's just so mysterious.
They look so cool.
And then, yeah. And then yesterday, I was talking to my friend. We were talking about life, how we meet people, when we lose them and all that. And it got me thinking that life itself, when we are in life, we're in masquerade of life. And
Oh,
yeah, I feel like sometimes life is a masquerade because everyone wears something before stepping into the world. Before you go to your workplace, you become this different persona than whoever you are. You go meet your friends, and depending on the friend group, you become different. Some friend group, you're the funny one. Another friend group, you're the quiet one. And I feel like because of these different personas, we are playing different roles, which would be the masquerade of life, right? But I feel like it gets to a point where sometimes you feel like you're playing a role instead of living.
yeah,
So
kinda.
yeah, some people do, like they end up just playing a role for just basically serving themselves to fit in whatever is missing in the puzzle, in the equation. It made me think that sometimes, have you ever felt like you were just acting in your own life?
Like, sometimes that I am not being myself. Does it count?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Then I could say it's quite a lot. I mean, like, even if being with different friend groups, sometimes I don't think that we will be ourselves all the time, right? Because, like, even when you are with different friend groups, there must be some moments where you feel awkward if you are gonna be your own real self. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's kind of like that. Like, for example, with this friend group, I'll be like, I can go all out. Like, I don't have to care much about manners. We can just go free. Just unleash our inner demons.
Yourself.
Yeah, my true self. And with the other, maybe another friend group, we'll be like, bring ourselves like more politeness, more formality, like that. And maybe some others is we have some other kind of, like we say, faces. We put on another face with another people. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the reason why we do that is because sometimes the masks that we put acts as a survival tool because, we need to fulfill some people's expectation on us. Let's say family expectation, and then sometimes even work or work culture. And let's be real, nowadays, if you don't work or you're not with your family, social media is there.
Yeah.
Social media is right there for you to put on your mask.
Yeah.
And then sometimes mask happens or is created because of your past trauma. Like for me, right? For me, the first version of myself that I learned to perform was for my family. So I had to become this person that is like the bigger person, the sister or the kakak of the family, where
First daughter.
I'm always the yeah, I'm always the peacemaker, right? So
Oh.
that's the first mask that I have to put on. And the second mask or like the costume I have to put on was always trying to like fulfill people's expectation, which
Mm,
ended up making me become a people pleaser.
mm,
Like
mm.
even though it doesn't really sit right with me, or even if it's something that I don't want to do, I would still try to do it just because I know it will make that person happy.
Mm.
And I think like that reflected on some people's like life or work culture as well as for me. Like whenever I work, I'll try my best to make my boss happy, even though sometimes I feel like it's wrong,
Oh.
But this was back then, not now.
Okay.
That's back then. So I feel like, I had this mask because of the expectations. Do you have this kind of mask? Like, have you ever created a mask because of your family expectation or maybe like social media?
There is a mask. Like when I am
Mm.
out there with my friends, I'll be more like myself rather than when I'm with my family. Because with my family, I put on the mask, like the one to be more rational, the one to be more composed, like, the one that keeps everything together. So it's kind of like, because I'm also the first daughter. So it's like first daughters have this instinct to, like, keep everything on track. So it's kind of like,
The manager of
yeah. I would just be like, okay, this have to be like this. So our family, the things have to be done. This has to be like this, and then I have to be like this so that everything looks okay. So I have
Yep.
that. I have that mask when I'm with my family, but when I'm out there with my friends, I'll just let go. I'll be like myself more. But if you're asking if do I have another mask outside its context, I would say maybe back in middle school days, I was a prefect. Yeah, like
Yeah,
a prefect,
prefect. Okay.
the prefect, and apparently, luckily, I have become one of the tycos after the
The
others,
head
the
prefect.
head, yeah, the head prefects.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not the head. I'm the vice. Yeah, the vice.
Second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
second, the vice president, and then I also became the head of another association, which is apparently quite big. And when you have all these responsibilities on your shoulder, you tend to behave like you are capable to like carry all that, right? I kind of pushed myself hard back then to meet those
Yeah.
expectations.
Yes.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
that.
Is this because when once those expectations are put on us, we're like, okay, we need to perform to meet the yeah, right. I mean, like, it's not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's completely normal in daily life. Like sometimes when you wanna achieve something, you have to put on this mask.
Yeah.
It's not like sometimes it's too much to the point that we cannot be our real self. Sometimes it's a mixture. Sometimes the mask is just like half performative and half it's just all you. Like I said earlier, like this mask becomes or acts as a survival tool for us, right? We have to wear it in order for us to achieve our goals. We have to perform in a certain way to achieve our target because let's be real, even though we want to be real, we also don't want to sit in our bubble.
Yeah.
We don't want to be in our comfort zone. We have to perform. We have to become someone that we have never been in order to see our potential. That's how we grow because we need to perform to survive, basically, right?
Yeah.
And it's not about you never have to wear a mask. You cannot wear a mask. You can.
Yeah.
It's just don't let that mask become who you are or take over you.
Yeah.
Because we learn on how to perform these skills or tasks or whatever, right? And we put this mask on to ensure that we are not basically our mind is set to help us survive, right? And in order to survive, we obviously have to, blend in the
Yes.
circles that we're in. Like for me, like in some friend group, I'm like the big sister or like the one that's like, wait, tenang, tenang,
The kakak.
calm down,
The
calm
top.
down. So in some friend group, I'm like the silly one. I'm like the one creating chaos and all that. And sometimes it is in the same friend group. I'm both of that, right?
Yeah.
It's just depending on the person I'm with, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing to blame about that. It's completely fine to perform certain tasks, but we need to avoid having that mask become us. So like I want to talk more about like the faces I have in my life. So for me, right, I'm always like the strong one. You did mention earlier about being
First order.
the first daughter, right? And I can relate that so much because I am the first daughter as well. And
Aw.
I say I'm the manager of the family. Like I say like the first daughter is always the manager of the family because you know what?
Yeah.
Because like whatever decision, right? Even if you're not the first child, if you're the first daughter, you will be the one making decisions.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, when you go to a store, like call your manager, right?
Yeah.
It's like that. It's just exactly like that. So I have to be the strong one, even though it's hard for me to do it. Even though at some moments I feel like I cannot do it. I cannot really take on that task, like, but I have to. So I put on this mask that I'm strong, I can do this, I can handle this, and I will find a way to do it.
I can
And
relate.
for me, like, yeah, for me, one of the time would be when my dad was sick, right? And then I had to I have two older brothers, by the way. So I'm obviously like not the first child, but we had to make a decision on if my dad should go through with the surgery or not. And my dad waited for me to make a decision. He asked my brothers and all that. And my brother's like, I don't want to make this decision. Ask Farah. And
Oh,
I'm like,
shit.
at that time, I cannot make that decision because I feel like that's my dad's life, you know, like my dad's life is on the line if I do this or not, because it's gonna change the direction of his life forever. And I I didn't want to do it at that time. I want to be the baby. At that time, I really want to be the baby. I really wanted to just cry. I don't want to think about anything, and it was just so overwhelming. And at first, I was like, I refused when my brother's like, Farah has to make the decision. Even my dad asked me for the decision. And I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to make it. But then I realized that everyone sees me as the manager of the family when I got the calls from my aunties, even my grandpa called me.
Mm.
Did not call my brothers. Did not brothers, I mean like both of my brothers, they did not get any sort of call. Not my sister. It's me. They trust my decision. They trust my judgment. And that's when I'm like, okay, you know what? I have to actually create this mask for me to
Mm.
actually go through with this. So what I ended up doing was like I took my time to really calm myself down, be more rational, and then I ended up just asking my dad, "What do you want?" You know? And then my dad just said, "I want to be able to work again."
Mm.
And I'm like, okay. So, you know, I prayed, you know, Islam, we have Salah Istihara and all that. And
Mm.
I told my dad to go through with the surgery.
Mm.
Because if you go through with the surgery, you have a longer chance of living and actually maybe changing your course of life instead of just like surviving with whatever
Yeah.
he was struggling with. And then it's like, okay, that's all.
Mm.
That's when like that moment when he said, okay, he did not question why. He did not say anything else. He just said, okay. And then he put the phone down. That's when I'm like, okay, you know what? That moment on, I put on this mask for my family that I'm the
Mm. You're the
strong
pillar.
one. Even though, yeah, even though at that time, I was so sad. I was so scared. Like the real me was just like crying, throwing tantrums. But the moment he said, okay, I felt like that responsibility, like, okay, they trust me to take care of the family and I will. Mm.
Oh.
That's when like that mask became me whenever I'm with my family. But then after a few years, you know, those masks, whenever I talk, the reason why I call it a mask is not persona because it's more, I would say like I can imagine it. You know what I mean? When I say persona, I cannot imagine it. But if I say mask, I can imagine that mask. And after years, right, that mask tends to like, you know, what do you call it in English? My brain is not working now. Like rapo.
Rapo. It's kind of like seeping into your soul.
Yeah, like this no, disintegrating and like suddenly breaking. So at one point in life, like even now, I'm the strong one,
Yeah.
but I'm also showing a little bit of my true self.
Oh, it's cracking. It's cracking.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like back then it's just Farah is strong. Now I show a little bit. Like I can be vulnerable too. I
Yeah.
can be a little silly too, you know, like I'm not always that strong one anymore.
Yeah.
It's not more so like you said blended, right? It's not completely blended, no. It's still there when I'm with my family. When I'm not with my family, I'm not the strong one. Like I care all the time, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But with my family now, like when I put on that mask is old because I put that on when I was like, you know, very, very young. So I do let my true self seep through by, you know, because that mask are a little bit like crippled holes here, there, you know.
Yeah.
That's one of the masks that I wear with my family. What about you?
Yeah.
Do you wear like a funny mask or like the emotionally unavailable or low maintenance? What about you?
For me, if it's my family, I kind of wear this mask that I am emotionally unavailable. Kind
Oh, okay. Very
Yes.
interesting.
Nice.
Nonchalant.
Nonchalant. I mean, like, it's not really nonchalant. I mean, I am chalant in me, but yeah, I am chalant. When I'm in with my family, it kind of like I look nonchalant because throughout the years, right? Actually, back in my middle school days until my uni days, the transition is kind of how do I say? It's kind of traumatic for me. Not like really traumatic, but you know, like the emotionally, mentally, like it slowly sleeps into your life thingy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like toxic, And actually, during those times, even though my family members they go through kind of emotional moments and stuff, I was the only one to remain calm on the outside because I numbed my emotions inside because I know that if everybody is going to chaos, this family is going to be like someone has to stay sane. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, if you guys are like crying, feeling sad, feeling very depressed or something, okay, just go ahead. I'm here. I'm numb. I'm fine. I'm okay.
You're the
I'm fine.
peacemaker at the same time lah.
It's not the peacemaker, like, because I don't make peace. Yeah, I don't make peace. I just, I was just like, like, just imagine, like, the meme, right? The world is going on fire. I'm just the only one in that.
This is fine.
Yeah, this is fine. And I was that kind of person because like the whole family is in chaos already. So if I am going to chaos as well, no one is gonna stay sane. And
Yeah. Yeah.
growing up, I learned that, you know that song by Sasha Sloan, Older?
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, growing older, I feel that song more and more. Yeah.
We could relate to it more and more.
To the extent that I know that even though my parents, actually, they are very vulnerable in such critical times, such as when my mother's side, my maternal grandparents, when they were in critical state of illness and stuff. And yeah, so my mom is emotionally sad, very sad. She was devastated, and my dad, he was just trying to, he was trying to put on his strong mask, but I know he's barely hanging on in there because he's also very anxious as well. So for me, I was like, okay, I was sad as well, but let's just keep this sadness behind. So I could give room to my parents to be whatever they want. And after that, maybe I'll just be sad in my own corner or something. So I won't affect them.
Yeah.
But after time, right, I really had a very unhealthy way to cope with this because the way I cope with it is continue to be numb, which is I didn't cope with it. So that's why until that time also COVID, right? So it's very mentally not good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's challenging, but at the same time, I didn't feel challenging because I said, right, I just turned all my emotions to be numb. I just become emotionally unavailable until the end that I break down. My breakdown was very devastating. It brought me to take a break on my university life and stuff. I went to therapist, like everything was crumbling down. After that, I am okay right now. And for me right now, the masks I had wore that time is kind of like break into
It's
pieces.
good. Yeah, breaking apart.
It had broke
Right.
into pieces, and I think some of the pieces it has already integrated with my inner soul. I don't feel like picking up that mask anymore, but sometimes I just feel like I saved up some bits of it just in case. Just in case. Yeah. Just in case.
I mean, I get that because basically how, some masks that we have in life, they kind of protect us.
Yeah.
So just in case something again happens, like something traumatic like that happens, you already have that in you or,
Yeah.
the same mask to put on again.
Yeah.
But, as you said, like some bits of it have already gotten into you, which brings me to the next part that I want to talk and ask you is, when the mask becomes the face. There will be points in life that we wear a certain mask for so long that we lose touch. We lose soul. We lose touch with who we are,
Oh,
Um
macam kena
and
rasuk ah.
sometimes line. Oh, that reminds me of the Musk movie.
Aiyo.
Yeah. I love that movie.
Oh my
I
god.
love that movie. So I feel like, when the mask becomes the face, it's sometimes it got to a point where you are performing a certain emotion or you are performing this, I would say again, persona or like mask instead of actually feeling it. It has gotten to a point where without that mask, you cannot really act properly. You feel unseen, you feel like you're not enough. You just feel super anxious because you have forgotten who you are without the mask.
Oh.
So, like you feel unsafe without that mask because you have been so comfortable wearing that mask all along. For me, I feel like there was like one time lah. And it was very young. Like I was very young. I've worn this mask of like, oh, I'm always happy and I'm always confident. But gosh, myself, I was so scared all the time. I'm always super anxious and all that. But the reason why I put that mask on is because I want to survive. I want to achieve my family's expectation. So I put on this mask all the time. Like I'm always confident in front of everyone. And then when I'm alone, I cry and break down because I'm just so sad. But it got onto one point where I hated myself.
Oh.
That I hated that true self that keeps crying, that keeps breaking down. Because I feel like, hey, why am I like this? You know, like I hate myself. And that's when I actually just started wearing that mask all the time. And it became my face. I became very, very confident. I mean, yeah, I survived life. I was so good in life, achieving so much because of my confidence.
Mm.
But at the same time, I lost myself.
Mm.
I was never I'd never felt enough. I never felt like when I achieve something, right? You should feel happy.
Yeah.
I don't really feel happy. I
You feel numb.
incomplete. Yeah, I feel numb. Like I feel like so incomplete. Like, okay, what's next? Like I never really absorbed that feeling, like celebrate that I achieved something in life. Because let's be real, it was not me. I was performing instead of actually feeling it. I was performing to be happy, like, oh thank you. But I'm like, what is this? I don't care. I don't feel it. Because I wasn't being myself. I wasn't being authentic. And I didn't want to take that mask off because I feel like the moment I do, I'm super vulnerable. I'm always like emotional, and I feel like being emotional is bad. That's when I actually had that mindset of like I should always feel confident, and feeling sad or feeling angry or feeling anything aside from confident is bad. Feeling emotional is bad. But one day someone actually said, I think it was my teacher. He was just talking in class and he was like, sometimes you perform so much in life that it's so funny to me that he said this sentence because it was a Malay class. It was a Bahasa Melayu class. We were learning about grammar, tata bahasa, you know. You know those teachers that are old, right? They just suddenly drop that life advice. Yeah, like suddenly drops the lork and Malay class. It was Malay class, and he just suddenly say like, basically in Malay he was saying like, sometimes you perform so much in life that you forget who you are.
The wisdom.
But yeah, but at the end of the day, everything that you perform for, or everything and everyone you performed for, will leave you or will be gone. And you only have your achievement to celebrate. But you cannot celebrate if you're still performing.
Oh.
That piece, you cannot celebrate if you're still performing.
Oh.
That really hit me, because like, okay, that is correct. Because if you're performing, like, let's say you're performing a dance or you're performing you're singing in front of people, even whatever you achieve, right? You can't really celebrate, except inside lah. Macam example, let's say you're singing, right? And you see people are like, whoa, they're singing together with you. In that you cannot celebrate.
Yeah.
But inside your heart, you're like, yes, people are actually engaging with me.
Yeah, but you're still singing.
But exactly, but you're still performing.
Yeah.
So that piece really, like, I don't know, like one day it really hit me. And then I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's time to actually just be authentic, to be happy with myself, to actually feel what I achieved, to actually feel my life, to actually not always perform. It's fine to perform. Like I said, even from the start of the episode, I said it's okay to have this mask,
Yeah.
but connect back to who you are.
Mm.
So, do you have any sort of like experience like this, or like macam pernah nampak orang pernah buat ke? Or you've seen someone do it?
Kalau I pernah nampak pun I dah lupa lah. How do I know people are putting on their mask? Because
But have you ever felt like your mask became your face?
yeah, it's my middle school day stories again.
That's okay. This is unfiltered, so
Okay, so like just now I mentioned that I was like, one of the taikos, the head of the association and stuff, right? So because of those responsibilities that is put on my shoulders, I tend to like when we first met, you know me as someone introverted. I'm not very talkative. I'm just a quiet person. But back in my middle school days when I was being the head, you literally see me like talking on stage, going to talk with someone, like just randomly just go and just ask questions. And then just
that was
because
me too.
yeah, just because we need to get something done. We need to get something
Yeah.
done. So it's like to the point that I was actually used to talk on stage, just grab the mic and go and talk. I was actually used to that. But now you see me, I am stuttering right now. This is my true self. I stutter.
Yeah.
And like back then, I kept on that mask for a few years. Like a few years straight in my middle school days, I was like, I was kind of like get into corporate and then I just kept on getting promoted, until
Yeah,
form
yeah.
5 and stuff, until the whole school was used to seeing me as that person who is very capable of everything. Lah. Until that, my school happened to also be a STPM center. So there is Form 6 in my school. After Form 5, I straight up went to Form 6 lah. Also, the teachers, they all know me well. So naturally, they put on all responsibilities to me. Even though I didn't say I want it, even though they say, okay, it's a volunteering session, bro, people just turn around and look at me. They turned around and looked at me. The whole class turned around and looked at me. I was like, okay. At that time, it happened to be COVID. It happened to be my transition into SPM. It happened to be, I mean, you are transitioning to another stage, but the people around you, the environment around you hasn't changed. So the expectation towards you hasn't changed at all. I mean, like they are putting on the same kind of expectation to me, but the goals are higher, the standards are higher. I don't feel like I am keeping up with that already because at that time I was
Mhm.
very struggling mentally. And
Yeah.
now I transition. Like everything is crashing on me. So that time I was still struggling to keep that mask on. But at times, right, I can control myself to let it crack. I just throw tantrums, randomly. Randomly, because like to the point that I am doing everything because everybody puts their eyes on me, right? There are other committees, the other committees, they can slack off. They can just do nothing because everybody's eyes are on me. And
Mm.
to the point that I almost picked up the broom and then I want to hit my teacher, because he kept on calling me to do stuff. I was like, did you see who else is here? Do you see this is not only me, though? You have the whole class, you have the other committees. I was so close to fighting my teacher that one time. Luckily, my friend, he told me to, bro, put down your broom first before you go talk to her. I happened to be like sweeping the floor back in the class. After that, I slowly like my mask, they come down and not gradually. It's kind of drastic, like pow, 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 like that. That few years was kind of dramatic for me. And
I
yeah,
mean, like, yeah, I feel like in a way, when people say COVID changed our life or everything, yes, it changed me.
yeah,
It not just my life, it changed me. I
yeah,
became this someone like who's very talkative, very comfortable with herself, very confident, to someone who's very, very anxious and
yeah,
introverted.
yeah.
And
No,
it was so hard for me to like go back to who I was
yeah,
when like
yeah. I think
because
those years changed us, like our world used to be vast, right? Those
yeah.
years just like minimize our world.
Like we became like at least for me, I became someone who's very scared of saying much. Like I was so comfortable with myself that I'm very confident in my judgment and whatever I think. To someone that is very, very self-conscious, I was so anxious all the time and I was very, very
Yeah.
introverted. And I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to speak in front of people.
Mm.
Mind you, I was the head student,
Yeah.
as well as the event host for any sort of event.
Yeah.
Right? And I still do it, I do it till today. But like back then, it's like out of nowhere, my teacher would like, Farah, can you help me on the stage for a bit because the teachers have to have like a impromptu meeting. I'm like, no problem. If it's
Wow.
the same thing now, I'll be like, yeah, okay, sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah.
so different. I feel like COVID has changed me so much
Yeah.
that I was just like, when I was back to basically, COVID took some years out of my uni,
Yeah.
as well as Form 6, right? And the Form 6, basically, like, I was so confident about myself, blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
And then, boom, COVID,
Mm.
lockdown. And then went back to STPM because STPM got extended, right?
Mm.
Went back, I was just like someone new, someone different. And even my
Yeah.
teachers noticed, like, I'm not so confident
Yeah.
talking in front of people anymore and all that. And then again, lockdown again,
Yeah.
uni online for the first year.
Yeah.
And when I got back to uni, like on the second year, actually go to uni, right?
Yeah.
I was so self-conscious. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't like this. I don't like this. You know, I jokingly said to my friend, I think the vaccine got me like this. It's just like crazy how like the mask that we have sometimes becomes ourselves. And then like this is where I feel like this whole episode we can just like say everything about imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then again, when we're talking about imposter syndrome, we're talking about masks and all that, the masquerade of life. We also have to talk about authenticity. I feel like, it's okay to be authentic. And being authentic, being real with yourself, doesn't mean that you need to overshare about your life, or does it mean that you cannot achieve something that you haven't achieved and all that. It's like I said early on in the episode, it's fine if you need to perform. It's fine if you need to change your persona to obviously we have to change up our persona to survive in the world, but you need to also know when you have to put down that mask.
Mm.
You also need to know that sometimes, even if you're being authentic, sometimes it's not good. This when you're being authentic all the time.
Yeah.
Some people might not match with you. And then this is when some people would say, this is me. If you don't like it, go.
Yeah.
That don't work in real life.
No, I mean,
No.
authenticity is different from being rude. You have to.
Yes, exactly. Some people are like, I'm so sorry, it's just me. It's because I'm a Gemini. I'm like, okay.
Oh, come on.
I'm not trying to hate on all the Gemini.
I am a Gemini. I don't know.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to hate on Gemini. Like, so then people say, is this because I'm a Cancer and all that? Like, here's the thing.
Don't
I
play
get
your
that trying to be authentic, but do not blame it on your star sign.
Yeah.
Do not blame it on just being authentic. Like, do not mask your rudeness or your lack of, I would say, manners. Thank you. Lack of manners with being authentic. When you want to be authentic, yeah, be yourself, but at the same time, be the best version of yourself.
Yep.
Yes, in order to sometimes be the best version of yourself, you have to put on certain masks that you need to survive.
Mm.
And then I would say, in a sense, when you put on this mask, you know what you can do. You know what you can achieve. You know your potential. When you put down that mask, learn from whatever you've done, with whatever you have performed, and kind of implement that in yourself. You get what I mean?
Mm.
You don't have to always put on the mask if you realized what you could have achieved. You get what I mean? How do I put? Let me think. Let me think of the better way to put this, right? So basically, when you don't have a certain mask, you are being authentic to yourself, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and you don't know how to do a certain stuff, or you're not as confident as you think you are. But you have to perform a task. You put on this mask and you do it. You get to do it. You get to fulfill whatever expectation was put on you, right? And then when you put down that mask, what you should do
Mm.
is learn from whatever you have done with that mask on,
Mm.
and then try to survive your life without that mask.
Mm.
So your authentic self is like upgraded,
Yeah.
like plus point, improve, confidence tambah satu, level up, And that's the whole point of this podcast, I want to say is, yeah, life is about
A
performing
masquerade.
a masquerade, but there are times where you need to leave that masquerade ball.
Mm.
But does that mean you need to leave whatever happened or whatever you have experienced in that masquerade ball? No. You can take whatever you have experienced and implement it in your life.
Yeah.
And making sure that you are always growing,
Yeah.
and also at the same time taking away what is, those bad qualities about you, those red flags that you
Mhm.
have, to improve yourself and your life as well. Does that mean the ball never happened? It did
Yeah.
happen. The masquerade ball did happen. But you don't have to always be someone else to achieve something that you can actually,
Mhm.
So I feel like that's what people need to realize, like the imposter syndrome whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
The reason why we call it the imposter syndrome is because we don't feel like ourselves when we're doing something, right? But we can do that. So why not we do that as our true self? Gitu.
Yeah. It's like level up from something. Since you did it when you put your mask online, that means you can do it even without the mask. The mask is just there for your confidence.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for putting my word. Pani, it's so subtle. It was so hard for me to put it. For some reason, my brain is like, A plus A equals to, oh my god, okay, A is this. I suddenly start disintegrating all the ideas and I have to put it back together. So yeah, like if you could do it with the mask on,
Mhm.
you definitely could do it without that mask on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
the goal is not to remove every mask. It's just to stop losing yourself in them.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, life is too short for you not to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Like,
So yeah.
yeah, like, like enjoy life. If you enjoy like going to nature or something, you go with your authentic self, right? You don't wear the mask and go in, right? That's the essence of it.
The essence of
That's
it.
it.
Yeah. It's like you have to remember that you have to remember who are you when no one is watching.
Yep.
You know? And then realize that you are allowed to rest.
Mhm.
You're allowed to you don't owe anyone or the world a performance to always be so performative.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay to just cry. It's okay
Yeah.
to just be lazy sometimes. Again, sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, there will be people in your life that is worth seeing your authentic self. And they will stay, not forever, but they will stay as long as they could.
Yeah. And sometimes people don't realize that just by being authentic, you would make an impact to someone's life.
Yep.
Your authentic self. You don't have
Yes.
to always perform to make an impact. Sometimes your authentic self is already doing so.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a very good session, right? Today, I feel like we covered so much in this topic today.
Yeah. We yep so much.
Yeah, it's always so fun to get with you. That's what
Same.
I love about doing this. So thank you so much again for being in today's episode of Unfiltered by Two.
Thank you.
I hope to see you in our next episode.
Of course. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Unfiltered by Two. No edits, no filters, just us. If you're into real talk with zero sugarcoating, hit that follow, like, and share with your friends. We'll see you soon for more unfiltered energy.